Okay, now we are officially recording. For everyone watching the recording, if you've never watched a team call, I don't show up normally looking like Britney Spears. But tomorrow, I'm actually recording my first episode of a podcast. So I wanted to check out the whole sound system, and I really feel extremely legit. So I hope that tonight on this call, I will add as much value as my headset indicates I might. So how we doing, you guys? Good? Okay, cool. So really what I wanted to do on this call and why I really encouraged it more for newer coaches is because I wanted to talk to you guys about all the things. But I really wanted to gear this call tonight towards a newer coach who's laying the foundation, who's kind of just getting started, maybe a little bit like, how do I actually do this? So I want to talk to you guys specifically. So I'm going to talk, if you are a coach that's been here for a while, I know most of the coaches that are on here that I'm looking around are newer coaches. So this will really cater to you guys. But if you guys have been a coach for a while and you're on this call tonight, this is how I would talk to a coach. So like take these tools if it's helpful for you, put that in your toolbox. But we're going to talk about basic business fundamentals, and then we're going to talk about social media and inviting. And then any questions you guys have, I am the most open of open books. So we're going to talk about all of that too. So let me get through a couple of things that I get asked commonly as a new coach. But first, I want to give you guys a backstory. So some of you guys might not even know me. My name is Keisha Fitzgerald, and I'm the founder of Team Fit Foundation. I've actually been coaching for 5 years in January, which is crazy because some of you may or may not know that I signed up as a coach strictly to get a discount on Shakeology. I looked at the ingredients and I was like, if this stuff tastes even like kind of good, I'm going to be here drinking this forever. So I might as well get a discount. I had no intention of building a business, but I was added into my coach's team page, which if you're in Team Fit Foundation, it was about the same size as that page. And there were all these random coaches. And I was like, what are these people doing? Like, what are they posting about? Why are they so pumped? Why are they all talking about like helping people change lives and all of this stuff? I didn't quite get it, but I did understand that it was bigger than just me, right? And I was like, man, that would be cool to be part of something like that. No, I'm not going to start. I'm not going to do this. This is not my thing. Cool for her, but not for me. Raise your hand if you can connect with feeling that way at least some point in your business. Okay, cool. So we're all on the same page then. I looked at my coach. Her name is Brigida. And I was like, this is really awesome that this is a cool thing that she does and she gets to help so many women. That's awesome. But like, I have a job that I love. I don't post on social media. If you guys were to scroll back to like when I actually posted on social media, it was like me doing keg stands and then randomly posting like a quote every like 3 months. That's actually what my social media game was. So the reason I'm telling you guys that is because I started having no clue what I was doing. I definitely, if we're connected on Facebook or Instagram now, I write really long captions. Like I max out the character limit. Because I have so much to say now. But back then, I was so paralyzed by how do I post on social media? What the heck am I going to talk about? Are people going to think I'm so weird? Like all the things, right? Raise your hand if you've worried about what someone else is going to think about you posting on social media. And if you're not raising your hand, it's because you're too sore from a workout or something and you can't lift it up, because we've all struggled with that. And so I want to just explain to you guys a couple of little hacks when you're first starting to share your journey that are helpful, and then a couple of ways to talk with other people about this behind closed doors that will make this feel really fun. If inviting was fun and you felt like you could be yourself, do you think it would be easier for you? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. Awesome. So first and foremost, here's what I want you guys to do. So if you have pen and paper, or if not, I'm sure you guys have your phones by you, I want you to jot down this plan that has worked really well for me. And I've actually just started implementing this again when I got a little like all over the place. When I first started coaching, I decided, what are 5 things that I care about? Period. Okay. So some of you guys have heard trainings like this. If you've been a coach for a while, you've heard us talk about this, but I'd encourage you to do it again. if you haven't done it recently. Because I recently just did this. My 5 things have very much so evolved. So what do I mean by 5 things? These are the things, this is your social media plan. Okay. What are 5 things that you care about? Because what you post about is actually what you're going to attract into your business, right? So pick 5 different areas. You can pick more than 5. 5 is just a good starting point. 1, are you a mom? Do you love your career path? Are you an animal person? Are you a fashionista girl? What do you care about? Do you have hobbies? Do you have interests? One of the things that I love talking about is female empowerment in general. I talk about being an entrepreneur. I talk about fitness. Of course, fitness and coaching are going to be 2 of those, right? But what's your take on fitness? Is your take just like holding up muscles and being like, crush it in my workout again, crush it in my workout again? Think about that. Would you not get so bored if you just saw someone killing it every single day, right? It's not real. We're not going to crush it every single day. So how do you want to talk about fitness? Pick a couple of different areas. So I'll give you guys an example. I love talking about relationships. I talk about my relationship with my boyfriend all the time, or female friendships. I love talking about relationships. I talk about female empowerment. I talk about being a 20-something, like stage of life. I think that's a really good one for anyone to incorporate. What's it like to be you at your stage of life, at your age, or at your transition stage? So for example, if you are a 20-something and you imagine that you are going to be married with kids like I did at this age, especially in a 10-year relationship, I talk about that all the time. And guess what? I get girls that I connect with via Instagram that just connect with me basically on that point alone. And then guess what? Everybody needs health and fitness. I think so often as new coaches, we get really, really focused on how can I convince someone to be in my challenge group? All you're going to do is you're going to start sharing your life more consistently over time. And you're only going to post about the things that you care about posting about, because what you post is what you attract. You will not see me posting tons and tons of recipes with like macro breakdowns or anything like that, because I don't want to talk about that stuff. That's not interesting to me. And here's the tip. From a 5-year coach to a whatever year coach that you are, or month coach or day coach you are, if you talk about what you want to talk about, this is way more fun. Right? And the better that you get at being yourself, that's going to be really fun for your life in general, right? It's going to feel good to be you, but it's also going to help people connect with you. And that, I think, has been the secret sauce of why, as of tomorrow, I've hit Success Club for 5 years straight tomorrow, right? Never missing a month. If you guys don't know what Success Club is, if you're a brand new coach, it's basically the metric system that Beachbody implemented, where every single person that signs up as a coach or as a challenger with a challenge pack, you get 2 points. Anyone that signs up with Shakeology on auto shipment, which is the cheapest way to get Shakeology because it's $2 flat rate that way, where they get it every month, they can modify or cancel at any time, but that's 2 points as well. So I'm going to get into that in a second. But the reason why I think I've been able to be so consistent is part of it being that I literally post about what I want to talk about. And here's the trick. So if you guys watched Kaylee's team call a couple weeks ago, she talked about how she breaks down her schedule. And this is something that I shared with her when she was, she's a mom of 3 and they're all under 2. So her life is insane. And I shared with her, like, why are you thinking that you have to do all of these things in one day? Why not break it down into smaller chunks, right? So I will tell you guys one aspect that often holds coaches back is the social media aspect. I think it's one of the biggest things that coaches get paralyzed by, and that they take too much time to do. Okay. So like, raise your hand if you have caught yourself in your phone typing out a Facebook post and you're like, I have no idea what I'm saying. This is taking me so long. Why am I doing this? Okay. Yeah. I think everyone can connect with that at some point in your career as a coach. You felt that way. Here's what helps. Pick those areas, right, that you're interested in. On Sunday nights, this worked for me. I used to work at Google. Some of you guys don't know my backstory. I worked at Google about 50 to 60 hours a week when I was really taking off with my business. It was totally on the side. I decided at one point when I was at Google that I really wanted to build this into a full-time income and leave the corporate world, which I did 14 months after I ran my first challenge group. And the reason that I was able to do that is because I treated this like a business early on, and I made it really fun for me to show up in this business. And part of the fun came from being proactive about those things that can be really frustrating in coaching. It can be really frustrating. And honestly, it can feel like this is so dumb when you're taking a bunch of time to write a social media post. But if you're proactive, that serves you massively. So on Sunday nights, when I did work a full-time job, and I just implemented doing this again, and it's so helpful for me, I would sit down and be like, what are my 5 things that I care about? One of them is going to be fitness, and one of them is going to be coaching for you guys, at least. And then pick 3 other ones, maybe a couple others, but at least have 5. Then all you're going to do is you're going to map out your content for the week. Your goal, 1 post on Instagram. And I do Instagram and Facebook typically for most of my posts. Your goal, 1 post a day about one of your topics. Map out what the topic's going to be, and you're just going to write about that topic. And what makes it so much easier in terms of content is if you are actually doing your workouts and you're actually listening to personal development, if you're listening to a book on Audible, or you're listening to podcasts, which have totally changed my life, which is why I wanted to start a podcast. If you're doing that on a daily basis, you're going to be able to come up with content. Right? You're always going to have random ideas. What I would do is I actually took the subway. I lived in downtown New York City, and I took the subway into Google. So I would be listening to podcasts all the time while I was getting ready. I would put headphones in while I was blow drying my hair. You can't tell, but I have like a ton of hair. So it took me a long time to blow dry, but I wanted to maximize my time. So I'd put headphones in, and I would jot down random things that came to my mind while I was listening to a podcast. And later that would be turned into a post, right? So as long as if you come into this, whether this is just a fun side thing for you, or this is something that you really want to change your family's life, the sky is the limit of what you can accomplish with this. I will tell you guys something that I just learned yesterday about my own personal business towards the end of this call. But it's really important that even if you're treating this like a side hobby, or even if this business is a side hobby, or it's a part-time thing, or it's something that's fun on the side, why would you not go into this and treat it like an actual business to not just reap the rewards financially and impact in terms of changing people's lives? Why? But why would you not do it to see the person that you're going to become who has to figure things out, right? What's the alternative to not starting a business? Always wondering what it would have been like if you actually tried, right? What you could have learned. I will tell you guys the reason, like using this podcast that I'm starting as an example, the reason that I feel confident to start this podcast, even though I'm scared because it's so new and clearly, like, as you guys can tell, I don't know how to do tech stuff, is because along the way of coaching, from hitting goals and missing goals and learning and growing, I've become a person who's so resilient that I'm willing to try things outside of my comfort zone. Right? So if I wouldn't have treated this like a business, I wouldn't give myself as many opportunities to learn skills that also are applicable in the rest of your life, and to give yourselves opportunities to build confidence as you're building a business that will serve you in other parts of your life. I don't know what your path will be with Beachbody, but you are here for a reason, right? For some way you are connected to the person that signed you up in this business, and you're spending time in this call or listening to this recording for a reason. So why not give this an actual go and use the framework that other people before you have used to break this down and actually try and build a business? Step 1, social media, because that's going to hold a lot of people back. Okay. So figure out what your 5 things are. Break them actually down. Be specific. If you're going to say fitness, who do you specifically want to talk to, right? One thing that I'm really passionate about in this business that has helped me connect with so many women that I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, I get you. We're the same. Like, let's do the dang thing. I'm like, love connecting with people that I get their story. And the reason is because I know who I want to talk to. I know who I am most excited to help. And it's people like Alyssa, who's on this call right now. People, hey girl, people like her who are in a transition stage in her life, in a long-term relationship, who's just trying to figure it out, but has this gut feeling that she wants to do something more. She's in a career path that she loves, but she's kind of like, I want something more. I get this girl. Before I even really talked to her, I got that because that's what we were connecting with on social media. So the better that you get at figuring out who you want to talk to, the easier this will get. But that just happens over time. The way to build the foundation is to pick a couple of areas and then rotate through them. That will serve you a ton in your business, okay? Don't be afraid to talk to one person. It's really hard when you think that you're trying to talk to everyone, but if you're only talking to one person, it feels so much easier. Don't try and talk to the masses and think that everyone's going to get you. I am so not for some people, right? That's okay though, because I'm really for some others. And being polarizing in that way with your social media will serve you massively, and it will be a lot more fun because the people that you'll connect with will be your people, right? So that's the social media aspect. And the side, like part one, social media in general, part 1B would be Instagram stories. How many of you guys are on Instagram and use Instagram stories? Okay, cool. On Instagram stories, these are the things that I think are crucial, from trial and error and collecting data that I think will serve you if you make a commitment to do this every single day. Number one, a clip of your workout. Okay? Something around your workout. And I get a lot of messages that are like, what apps do you use? My app is called Video, as in literally the video button that comes on your phone. I set up the video, I hit start, I record it, and then I upload it into Instagram stories. That's legit what I use. And then I'll add music onto it. That's all I use. There's lots of really amazing apps, and ask people in the team page if you want more apps, but I'm not your app girl. I just literally record it with a video. So on Instagram stories, a clip of your video, okay? A clip of a product without saying the product name. For example, Shakeology. Not like this with the logo showing, like this without the logo showing. Why? Because think about it. You want people to ask you what it is so that you can have a private message with them rather than being like, I love my Shakeology, because what are they going to do? They're going to go to Google and they're going to type in Shakeology, and then they're going to order it, and they're going to get connected to a random person. And then they're going to tell you later, right? It creates curiosity rather than raising resistance. That's the goal here. So when you're drinking your, like a lot of people call Energize, which is the pre-workout, unicorn crack or mama go-go juice or mom crack or whatever you want to call it, like get ish done, magical unicorn-ish. Whatever you want to call it. You can call it pre-workout too if you want to just call it something basic. Whenever I'm like scooping that up on my Instagram story, I'm turning the label so they can't read that. So I can scoop it up and people are like, what is that yellow crack stuff you talk about? I'm like, oh, it's Energize. It's a pre-workout. We actually run these virtual accountability groups. Tell me a little bit more about you and kind of where you're at in your life. Maybe this could be something cool for you. So casual, so honest, so friendship, relationship based rather than product based. I think why a lot of network marketing companies get a bad rep is because people lead with products and people don't care what you're selling. They care that you care about them, right? They care about you building a relationship with them. That's what matters. So on your Instagram stories, you want to make sure that people identify you as someone who works out and uses some type of product, because those are the two things that you can quote unquote sell, right? Is the coach opportunity and the challenge group opportunity, or an actual product. So you want them to know that. A clip of your workouts and a product. The other thing that I would encourage you to do every single day is to add some sort of value on your Instagram story to the person that you would be most excited to help. So I'm a huge fan of posting quotes on my Instagram story. And the reason is because I love quotes. And if I see it and I connect with it, the person that is going to vibe with me is going to connect with it too. And then what they can do is they can screenshot it and they can put it on their story if they want, or they'll reply to it and they're like, oh my gosh, Keisha, I needed to hear this today. Thanks so much for that. And then I'm like, girl, tell me how you're doing. Fill me in on your life. Like what's going on in your world. And I can build a real conversation and relationship based off of adding value to whatever your target market would be interested in. If you're a mom, post family-friendly recipes. Anything that adds value to you, share that with your audience, right? If you listen to podcasts, if you listen to books, add value to your audience. So 3 things so far on Instagram stories: a workout clip, a product clip without actually saying the name of the product. Literally, don't hold up your Shakeology. Trust. And if you're doing this, I literally did this for 6 months and it totally worked out in the long scheme. I'm just trying to like cut that off for you guys because this will be easier. If you hold this up and you're like, I love my superfoods, 70 plus superfoods, mwah, Shakeology. Like, okay, what? Or if it's like, this is good, superfoods, that's how I would talk about it on Instagram stories. And then people are going to be like, I don't know what kind of crack is in your superfoods, but you seem like you're having a great time. What are they? Right? And then I can talk to them about their goals. So workout clip, product clip, and add value. Don't make this complicated. Literally, like if we're connected on Instagram, I just add random quotes. I add podcasts, I add books, I add anything that I'm like, oh, this is cool. Oh, I got this hair tie. I got this scrunchie at Top Knot Society. You might like this too. Oh, this is the creamer that I use. This is really great if you don't like dairy creamer. I mean, nothing complicated. Don't let this like be a big thing, but do those 3 things and get in the habit of doing that, because what you become is someone who people have to see it over and over again. Think about it. We don't even have TV, but like commercials. You see like a hair product on a commercial. You see it once, you're like, oh, that's interesting. You see it again, you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. You see it 3 times, you're like, okay, why? Like her hair is so great. Like give me the hair product, right? You have to see it multiple times. And so be that person, because here's the other trick of Instagram stories. And then I'm going to tell you one extra bonus challenge with Instagram. But with Instagram stories, you have to remember that consistency over time adds credibility with your audience. But when you send an invite, which we're going to talk about next, and like the structure of inviting, when you send an invite, someone is going to go back to your page and they are going to do the first thing that any normal human would do. They're going to look at your Instagram stories. If you're inviting them to a virtual boot camp and you don't even work out, that's very confusing, right? If you're telling them how obsessed with you are about Shakeology and you never post on your Instagram stories about Shakeology, that's very confusing. If you tell them they're a coach and they can join your team and how cool it is, but you never talk about it on your main feed or on your story, that's really confusing. And if you're a brand new coach and you're like, but I just started, awesome, great. You're at day 1. Like tomorrow you're going to crush it because I'm literally giving you a game plan and you're going to do all those things. Tag me if you want to. Like I want to support you, but also like this is your game plan to whatever business you want. This will work. It's proven to work. So hear me when I say 5 years in that like this will help you. I promise. If you actually just kind of take my advice and lean into it. Okay. So that is the other part of it. And your bonus challenge, right? So I said workout clip and then product clip, add value clip. I love that people are like mouthing it with me. Like they know what I'm going to say afterwards. This is fun. Okay. The 4th component, this is your bonus challenge that I think serves so well, is be you via a video. Whatever you is, right? If we don't know each other personally or we're not connected on social media, you would maybe not know that I'm like really weird. Like I'm like that's like how I talk to my actual friends in real life and how I talk to strangers that I meet. And I'm the girl that talks to the person in the elevator and I dance with my dog and I'm like if Taylor Swift and Tupac had a baby. Like I'm weird. But I try to show that on video constantly, at least once a day, where I'm talking to the camera like it's my girlfriend on the other side of the camera. Like we're FaceTiming, right? Like we're talking to each other like we're already friends. And the reason is because once people know you, as in you've got to be connected with them I'm going to talk about this in a second, but you've got to be connected with them first for them to even know what you do. You also have to talk about what you do for them to even know that they can join you. But once they know you, then they get to determine if they like you, right? And don't let that be an ego thing. There's tons of people that don't like me. I'm totally fine with it because I like me and that's what matters, right? So then someone else gets to decide if they vibe with you or not. If they're watching your Instagram stories and they're following you on Instagram, they probably vibe with you, right? You can make that assumption. So they have to know you, as in you got to talk about this and you've got to be connected with them already. Then they get to decide if they vibe with you or not. Like, no, like. And the last component, trust, right? Trust. And think about this. We are not selling knives. There's nothing wrong with selling knives. Everybody needs to chop those vegetables. But You know what I mean? We're selling something where we're helping people change their life. This can be a very touchy subject for some people because health and energy and productivity and confidence are under the health bucket, right? That can be really scary. The amount of messages that I've gotten, I know about everybody's pregnancy before they tell their friends. Like, it's so weird. Like, people tell me about their pregnancies. They tell me about marriages that are on the rocks. They tell me about all of these things. And it's tied to them wanting to work on their health and fitness goals often, right? Because they want to feel more confident and they want to feel more energized and they want to control something when life feels a little bit outside of their control in other areas, right? So the trust part of it is really important in this business. I would say it's kind of rude for us to assume that someone's going to sign up just because we want them to sign up at that point of their life, right? When you invite them to a challenge group, just because you want to hit Success Club or you have a goal, that doesn't mean that they're ready yet. They might not trust you yet. And it's not because you're not trustworthy, just maybe they haven't seen you show up for that long. And for some people, that trust, they can build it in watching 10 Instagram stories. They decide that they love you and they want to sign up for your challenge group and they want to do the damn thing with you, right? And they're ready, right? But some people, they might be ready, but they've got to watch you for months. Some people have to watch you for years. And some people watch you for days. It's not your call. But your call is whether you plant the seed by asking them in the first place and then continuing to love them where they're at, no matter if they're going to join you or not. Because the truth is, if they're the right person, they're probably going to come around at some point. I said I didn't want to be in a challenge group. I said I didn't want to be a coach. Most people don't say yes the first time that you ask them. So don't have those expectations, because here's the hard part about expectations. You go into it assuming that just because you're going to invite them right then that they're going to say yes, and then they don't. And because you're newer as a coach, or because you're having an off day because you got to into a fight with your significant other, or your kid like threw a Lego at your face. I always use that example because I'm not a mom. But if you had an off day and someone said no to you, that can hit you in a way that's just so unnecessary because it's not even about you, right? But you plant the seed by asking, and you disattach yourself from the outcome of what they say. And that is gold. Because if you want to show people that you really care, when they say no, and you still love on them and still show up, that shows you really care. So if they say no, or not right now, you get the opportunity to be what so many of us want to be, the person that helps people, and not for whatever reason, everybody hates calling themselves salespeople, right? You don't want to be the salesperson. You feel like sales is icky. You don't want to sell your friends. You don't want to sell your family. You don't want to convince people. Guess what? The way that you don't do that is you actually just care. And you assume that they're going to say no the first time that you ask, but you still ask because you need to plant the seed. Because if you don't ask them and you think that they could love this, or you think that they would be a killer coach, someone else is going to ask them, right? Or they're going to think that they weren't asked for some reason. Like, you don't think that they could do this, right? Be the person that asks. For me, I think about it where if there's something that I love that has changed my life, even if you've been a coach for 1 week, you've done one round of 21 Day Fix and you've seen awesome results, or you've been a coach for years, or you've been a coach for 5 years and your life is flip turned all around in every single way, like mine has been, because of this business and the opportunity and relationships that it's given me. But regardless, even if you've been here for a day, you're excited about this business. Do you not think that there's someone else that you know that could need some excitement in their life too? That's enough. Do you think that there's not someone that also wants to get on that morning workout train like you got on? Do you think there's not someone that wishes that they had better poops? Yeah, didn't think I was going there, did you? That was a curveball. Yep, I'm talking about poop. Right? Don't you think that there's people that would love Shakeology and want to work on their digestion? I love how so many people are like, wait, what? She just said poop? Okay, I did. I said it like 4 times. Point is, if you have benefited from this, that's enough to ask someone else, and all of the people that you can benefit, that you can help serve in their lives simply by just whatever reason that you're excited, whatever reason that you're spending this time on this call tonight or watching this recording. That's enough. That's all you have to know. So let's talk about how, okay? Because this is so the first thing is social media. People get all worried about that. Remember, you guys are going to start doing social media. You're going to pick 5 areas. 2 of them I already gave you as your layups. Coaching in some capacity. If this is a side hustle and you're just excited to have something to build on the side, that's what this was for me. I did not think this was going to be my full-time job. In fact, if you would have told me that I would be wearing a Britney Spears mic on Wednesday, November 7th, talking to you guys right now, I would have actually thought you were out of your mind, right? And that this would be my actual job. It's so weird. But point is, however, whatever you're here, whatever you like about coaching and building a business, you have to talk about building a business because other people don't know, no matter how much you think about it. How many of you guys have read Jen Sincero's You're a Badass? Okay. She talks in the first, this is when I decided I was going to read that book, when in the first page or so, she talks about if you are the person that's sitting on your couch that knows all of the Jeopardy answers, like you're the smartest person that knows all these Jeopardy answers, but you don't do anything with your life, who gives an ish about that? You can know how great this is. You can know how much it's helped you. You can think about it all the dang time, but if nobody else knows, you should probably expect that no one's going to sign up and do this. And if you're driven by words of affirmation, like I am, as in you're driven by, Keisha, because of you, my life's changed. Keisha, because of you, I can be at my son's class for his birthday party and send you a picture with him wearing a crown. If you're driven by that and that makes you like tear up thinking about, you have to invite those people to get those messages. And you have to show up consistently so they can build belief in themselves to do it too. And you have to show up consistently so that someone can go from knowing you to liking you to trusting you on their timeline. So what you know now is enough. You don't need to know anything else, right? That's enough. Social media, Instagram, this is what everybody's going to do. Workout clip, product clip. I was waiting for someone to mouth it with me. Okay, workout clip, product clip, something that adds value to your person that you're so excited to help. And the 4th bonus is you talking to the camera, being you like you're talking to your best friend or your sister or whoever's your closest person. I talk to this camera like I'm literally talking to my best friend. Like, hey, okay, this is my creamer, right? Like I'm talking like myself so that people can get to know me, and then they can either unfollow if they're like, this girl's freaking bananas, or they can be like, hey girl, what do you do? Because I want to do it with you. Or they can just be like, hey, I'm glad that I get to follow you because you're weird. Whatever, okay? Social media. Moving on. Inviting. How many of you guys are scared to invite? Okay, everybody, at least at some point in their business. Here's my tip for inviting. Come from a place of gratitude, always. Everything I do comes from a place of gratitude. Think about how you have been impacted, even if you've been here for one day, how you have already been impacted by this business. Don't you think that other people deserve that impact, right? Don't you think that other people deserve to be excited? Don't you think other people deserve to like their lives more, right? So come from a place of gratitude for the abundance that you're already receiving by being a coach. Second step. This is my entire inviting flow. So I hope that Ashley's on here because she asked about this question. So I believe that this business is all about relationships. Well, also, if you're inviting on Instagram, nobody wants to talk about the weather, okay? Let me break that down. Instagram, so I'm in a 10-year dating relationship, so I'm like didn't even do the dating app thing, so I don't even really know the dating world. But what I do know about dating apps and like all the swiping is it's people like Instagram is speed dating or like Tinder. It's like one of those fast, quick, people want to go. They want to see the picture. They want to like it. They want to see the story. Like it's fast on Instagram. Facebook is like Match.com, right? Like they want to like know everything about you. You want to go back and forth for a really long time. You want to talk about your kids and their ages and all that stuff. Okay. If you're building on Instagram, where I would highly encourage everybody to go on Instagram and build on Instagram. The reason why is because know, like, trust. Guess how people can get to know you faster on a platform that they're not getting added into groups every day like they are on Facebook, and a platform where you can connect so quickly based off one common interest. You like Fixer Upper? Go to Joanna Gaines' Instagram, follow the people that are following that, and guess what? You already have one common point in common. You like Fixer Upper and Joanna Gaines. Boom. Now that's something to talk about, right? Okay. So I'll get into that in a second. Point is, they have to know you, they have to like you, they have to trust you. It happens quicker on Instagram. So here's the thing that people don't want to do on Instagram, because I don't want to do it on Instagram. Hey girl, how's it going? Good. How are you, stranger danger? Right? Like, I don't know you. Like, what are we going to talk about? And then, oh, yeah, oh, you have a dog. What breed is your dog? My dog is okay, this is going nowhere. Like, I don't want to do this. This is like, why are we doing this? Versus if you connect with someone and they follow your Instagram stories, and when they followed you, you send them an initial message. It's like, girlfriend, so nice to, in your language. Remember, you're going to talk like you're talking to your best friend all the time. Girlfriend, I love how much we have in common on our Instagram pages. So fun to connect with you. That's literally like something that I would say to someone. I don't go and look for like a million things that we have in common and be like, oh, I saw that your son Henry fell out of a tree 3 weeks ago in Maple Valley, Washington. Like, what? No one does that. Okay. So point is, connection message. Then when you actually go to invite, if this person is following your Instagram stories, again, I told you guys, I've been out of the dating world for a while, but what I equate following your Instagram stories to is like a guy at a bar, like slid his number to me and was like, call me because I'm watching you. Right? I don't even know. Literally, I've been in a 10-year relationship. But point is, if they're following you, they want to know what you're doing because they're literally clicking on that little circle. And guess what you're doing? You're posting your workout. You're posting a product. You're posting add value, and you're talking to the camera. Woo! They already know you, and they're watching you. If you have sent that initial message that connected with them, and then they're following you, guess what? Those people need to get invited because they like what you're doing. You like what you're doing. You are the connection point to them having a better life. If coaching could be their thing, or a challenge group could be their thing, or convenient fitness or convenient nutrition could be their thing. If not, totally fine. But here's the connection point. Okay. So why do I invite this way? Because I literally want to take a fork and poke my eyeball out over small talk. And I think a lot more people do than you realize. I don't want to talk about small talk. So I'm going to get to the point. Point is, overarching invite. Here's what to write down. Initial message to connect with someone. Then, before anyone asks, how long do you wait before you send an invite? You can literally send it the next day. I personally don't send it in the very first message because I want to make sure that they're still following me and like they watch all my stories and stuff, right? And they're connected with me. I don't send it in the first message. Some people do. I personally don't. So the next day, you can invite them if you like them and you vibe with them. Awesome. They should be invited. Okay. Overarching invite. Here's an example. Hey girl, I know this is really random. I'm literally just, as you guys can tell, I don't have notes. I'm just talking. But hey girl, I know this is random. We're connected on Instagram. You seem like someone I'd be friends with, because I literally only invite people that I'd want to be friends with. I'm not even kidding you. So if you're one of my coaches on here, I invited you because I want to be your friend. Like, that's actually why I invite people. Hey girl, you seem like someone I'd be friends with in real life. I don't know if this is something you'd be into at all. I run these virtual boot camp groups. I've stopped calling them challenge groups. I don't say this in the message, just so you guys know. I don't call them challenge groups anymore. I call them boot camps because nobody knows what a challenge group is. And if they're scared to start a challenge, they're very scared by that, right? Boot camp, everybody knows what a boot camp is. So I call it a virtual boot camp group. So like, let me go back to my invite. Hey girl, I know this is random. We're just connected on Instagram, but you seem like someone I'd be friends with. So I wanted to extend the invite. I run virtual boot camp groups with a bunch of busy women from all across the country. Why do I say busy? Spoiler alert, because that's the biggest objection that I get. I'm too busy. I wish I had time. That's the main thing that I get from my demographic is they're too busy to build a business, too busy to work out, too busy to think about responding to my Instagram, right? Whatever. With a bunch of busy babes all across the country, we check in with our workouts, support each other, hold each other accountable, and kick some, and I normally say ASS, but I'm trying to be cautious of kids now, boo day together in a private group all run through an app. Does that sound like something that would be up your alley at all? Here's the thing to notice. It's a very blanket invite. Okay. It doesn't say Shakeology. It doesn't say Beachbody. It doesn't say, I lost 25 pounds and 12 inches off of and like join my blah, 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 like, and like 100 million messages. It's really basic. Here's how you know if it's short enough. Can you send it with one message? Then it's short enough. If you're an emoji kind of girl, like I am, throw those emojis in, like salsa dancer, like twerk girl. I wish they had a twerk girl, but whatever. Throw that in, be you in your message. Very, very basic message. Don't mention Shakeology. Don't mention Beachbody. Don't mention cost, obviously, because you don't even know what they want or if they're interested. After you send that blanket invite, you're going to get back 3 responses, typically. 1, sure, maybe, what is this all about? 2, how much does it cost? Or 3, you're going to get no response. One of those 3, typically. I would say 90% of the time. Raise your hand if you'd agree with me, if you've been here for a while, that 90% of the time you're going to get something like that. Okay, cool. So if you get how much does it cost or tell me more, here's the secret sauce. Some of you guys already know what I'm going to say. Don't answer the question because you don't know how to answer the question unless you want to be a salesperson. Let me repeat that. How much does it cost? Tell me more about it. Don't answer the question unless you want to be a salesperson. I don't think you want to be a salesperson, so ask a question back, okay? Oh my gosh, girl. Remember, I'm talking to them like we're best friends. However you would say that. If you don't say, oh my gosh, say like, awesome lady, great girl, yeah, woman, or man, I don't know, whatever. Say something back that sounds like you. Then you're going to ask them your version of this question. Are you ready? Can you first, this is what I would say. Hey girl, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I knew this would be up your alley. I'm confirming because remember, I already knew it was going to be her thing. That's why I asked her. So I'm confirming because she's interested or she asked how much it cost. Then I'm asking her this question. First, before we get into the nitty gritty, that's like how I would talk. Can you tell me a little bit more about your current health and fitness goals? What's working for you? What's not working as well as you would like? Your version of that question. Can you tell me a little bit? Don't say this because like this is just paralyzing. Tell me more about you. What? Oh, I have a dog. I live in San Diego. I used to live in New York for 4 years. I like worked in this corporate job. Like I love this like superfoods. I like twerk and I love butt flaps. Like, I mean, what? I could just word vomit about me. So I probably won't answer you because you're a stranger on the internet. Right? So give them a question that they can answer. Tell me what's working for you. Tell me what's not working as well as you would like. Most coaches don't ask the second part. They ask what's working for you. Or they'd say, tell me about your health and fitness goals. That's not enough because you don't know now how to solve their problem. If you want to be a salesperson, then you already told them everything about the group, right? And if you are a new coach and you're like, oh, I've been doing that. I did that for the first 6 months. I literally sent 7-paragraph essays to people. It still worked out. I was willing to fail. It's fine. I want to just stop the bleeding now if that's what you're doing, okay? And I want you to think about this from their lens. What's working? What's not working as well as you would like? Our brains are like computers. We've got to answer both parts of that question. What's working? What's not working as well as you would like? They're going to tell you time. They're going to say nutrition. They're going to say, I bought a membership to Orange Theory, but then I never went. They're going to tell you, they might tell you like a ton about their life. This is when you actually get to know them. So Ashley asked the question. I shared in the Slay Squad business building group, I shared an invite that was like the overarching first invite, like I mentioned, that was not super personal, didn't talk a lot about the details, but this is where I get to know them. I send that first invite because they're probably not going to say no. They might not respond because you know, they have to go over to my Instagram stories and creep on me like every normal person does, right? But they might not respond, and that's okay because they'll watch what you're doing and you can follow up with them later. But you don't know how to invite them, and you don't want to waste time trying to figure out all of the reasons why, because then you'll only send out like 2 invites. And guess what happens when you only send out 2 invites? Most people don't say yes straight out the gates. So here's what happens. You think you're not cut out for this. The story that you now tell yourself is, nobody wants to join my group. Nobody wants to be in my challenge group. I'm not cut out for this. I'm never going to hit emerald or whatever, right? You tell yourself that story. Then self-confirming bias kicks in, which is you look for things to confirm that. See, I posted on Facebook, it only got 5 likes, and one of them was from my mom. Like, I suck at this. I'm not cut out for this. Look at all these girls that write these like 12-paragraph essays on their blah, blah. You start looking for things to confirm why you think you suck at this, when in reality, it's just because you haven't been here long enough for people to know you so they can determine if they like you, and then they can decide if they trust you enough to connect with you on their health and fitness journey. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Right? I just saw a lot of like open kind of mouths, which was good. Okay. So don't rule yourself out before you even start. So if you're taking so much time to invite, that's how it's going to feel. And if you're scared to invite, the only way you'll get better is by inviting. It's just practice. Just do it. Rip the Band-Aid, right? If you have something that could serve people, especially your best friends, especially your family members. Especially, I mean, for me, I was like, mom, dad, I mean, my best friend and my boyfriend were the first people that signed up in my business because I was like, like I want to do this and I wanted to advance my business to Emerald, and I did it the first day because I knew it was important, and I'm not even going to talk about all the nitty-gritty of that. You guys should watch those 3 videos, the new coach training videos, which hopefully you guys watched, that kind of explain why Emerald is like do it yesterday type of a thing. But you guys have to just remember that a lot of people are going to say no, and that's okay. So practice on people that you have some type of connection with, right? And get some skin in the game by having a conversation with the people that are close to you. One of the reasons that I didn't actually realize until recently in a conversation with a newer coach that served me in my business is I signed up my best friend and my boyfriend as my very first coaches before I ever ran a challenge group. The reason why it served me is because my 2 most important people knew that I was doing this. So I had skin in the game because I wanted to show them that I was going to do this because they both knew I was doing it. That was gold for me. I didn't even know it though. I didn't understand how much that helped me show up because I had the 2 most important people knowing that I was doing this. So that was really helpful for me. Okay. So to wrap this all up, when you're going to invite, the basic line of what I would give you any advice across the board, because I just realized I talk for so long. I'm so long-winded, but I will open up for Q&A. Last thing is ask better questions and talk to more people. That's going to be your answer for everything. And when I say ask better questions, I also mean ask yourself better questions. If you're asking yourself why you think you suck, if you're asking yourself why you think it's hard, if you're asking yourself why you can't figure it out, your brain wants to protect you. And your brain is going to look for answers to solve that question. Why not ask better questions? Why am I excited? Why do I care enough about this business that I'm on this call at whatever time it is or listening to this recording enough to be here? It must be because of something. What do I love about this business? Why am I willing to work hard? Why am I willing to show up for this? Who could I serve? Whose life could I change? Whose story, like who needs to hear my story that will connect with me? Why is this so fun? Right? Like think about those questions. If you ask yourself those questions, what can I be most excited about today? Think about this. Applies to everything in your life. People ask me all the time, why are you so pumped? And why do you have so much energy? I get that literally every single day. And it's not because of coffee. And I love pre-workout, but it's not because of pre-workout. I'm like that, like a ninja when I jump out of bed. One is because I don't have kids. So like, I mean, if you have kids, like I don't even know what to do with you. Like that, you don't sleep. I get it. But for me, I don't have kids. That's one. But also, I'm just really excited about life. And when I'm brushing my teeth every single morning, I'm like, what am I excited about today? I'm not like, I'm so tired. I just want to go back to bed. Like, I don't want to do my workout. It's going to be so hard. Autumn always hurts my butt, right? Like, I'm not asking myself those questions. I'm asking myself, what am I most excited about? And I'm getting pumped while that Sonicare freaking goes. My boyfriend's a dentist. We believe in Sonicare. Get your Sonicare. Okay. So ask yourself better questions. And then the final answer if you don't feel like you're hitting your goals, talk to more people and don't do what new coaches often do, where they ask 2 people 100 times and they don't talk to more people and they don't implement the other side of the strategy, social media, where you could meet your best friend, like you could meet your new best friend through social media. Like people on this team, I literally would not know 98% of people on this huge team if it wasn't for social media. People that have like, will be at my wedding. Like that's so weird, right? Anyway, I have a couple. Sorry, I just talked for a really long time. So I am. Ashley, I'm a ninja when I get out of bed. Okay, does anyone have any burning questions? If not, if you do, raise your hand and I'll give you, yeah, Janelle, get it, girl. I just unmuted you.
But I was just curious as to like how many people like invites a day is like a good goal to have. Like I don't know.
Yeah, good question. Good question. So I personally think it's gonna take you a little bit of time to figure that out because your conversion rate is different when you're newer in this business than it is when you've been here for a while. Okay, just because you get better at using your voice and, quote unquote, combating objections, which I just think are ways to get to connect with people better. But your goal, every new coach's goal, I always say emerald as quickly as possible. In fact, you could still go emerald tomorrow because it's 7:53 p.m. and you have until Pacific time and you have until 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You have 1 hour to sign up 2 coaches and go emerald. I always tell brand new coaches, emerald is their first goal for lots of reasons, financial, confidence, all the alls. Number 2 is Success Club. That is the foundation of your business, which means 3 people minimum. But why would you ever shoot for just the minimum? I say 5. When I first started as a coach, I went emerald before my first challenge group. The very day I decided to build a business, I signed up 2 coaches and I hit Success Club 10. And I did that every single month. So I don't know how many invites that's going to take you. So I can't answer that question. But start with getting practice by using a timer. This works really well for new coaches. Use a timer. Say, I like the number 11. So, okay, I don't know. So 22 minutes, put it on a timer going backwards and make it your goal to send 11 invites in 22 minutes. And do 3 of those blocks 3 days in a row. That will build some momentum, because what you guys will find is momentum is difficult to build. And I will never forget this, and I'll leave you guys with this. And if anyone has any other questions, I was a coach for about 6 months. I was making about $500 a week. I needed to make 4 times that to leave the corporate world. And my eyes were like falling asleep at my computer. It was after work. It was really late. I was sitting on our couch in downtown New York City, 600 square foot apartment, 1 room. My boyfriend was going to bed. And I was like, I'm so tired, but I really want to do this. Like, I really care about this, but I'm falling asleep. He was like, Keisha, can you hear me right now? He's in the kitchen. He's like, that right now you are pushing a monster truck. Do you remember this? Yeah. You're pushing a monster truck tire up a hill. Little by little by little by little, you're going to be able to push it. It feels heavy right now. It feels hard. But when you get it to the top of the hill, you're still going to have to push it, but it's going to be easier because the hill is going to be more like this, right? Little bumps. Versus when you first start, it feels so brand new. Think about going into a new job. You have no idea what the heck you're doing, right? You have no idea. But once you get that momentum going, it gets easier because you're building like this. But when you first start, it takes massive action to move that monster truck tire up the hill. So do not give up before the magic happens, right? And you're going to have ups and downs throughout your business all the time. That's going to happen. That's life of an entrepreneur. But know that the beginning stages, it is harder because everything is new and you don't have the confidence yet from getting a message that says, because of you, my life's changed. You don't have the confidence yet of hitting a goal or a financial goal. But what you will do is you will push that monster truck tire up the hill. And this actually applies to anyone who's built the business and then taken a step back and is having to build momentum again. You will push that monster truck tire up the hill, and you will do the tiny little things every single day, like post on Facebook, like add new people to your network, like have real conversations with people, like do those 22-minute little blocks. Everybody has 22 minutes, even if you are raising 12 humans. You can make 22 minutes happen, right? Or you can do it in 3-minute chunks. Right? Everybody has to pee at some point. Even if you have a toddler on your leg, I'm sure you can make it happen. Okay. So look at Camille. She can do it. She like brings babies to everything and she makes it happen. So point is, it will take you longer when you're first starting to find your flow. So I literally can't answer that question, but I would tell you when you're starting the car, massive action straight out the gates. So Emerald, Success Club, continue to build. The higher the Success Club number, the more people that you've helped, right? So that would be my answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Lo just said, here's your stapler. This is, I said this on a call once where it's like when you sit down at a brand new job, they're not going to be like, here's your stapler, go get them, Tiger. They're going to, like, you have to learn, right? You have to learn how to use the new system. You have to learn how to like talk to the clients if you're in a customer service role or whatever it may be. Like it takes time to get your footing, but do not be the person that lets analysis paralysis stop you from starting. So here's your last final thing. I've said that like 50 times. Your last final thing. Know what you need to start. Or if you're rebuilding or like in a integrating back in phase, or you're in a push phase, know what you need to stay consistent and start. So if Janelle, you need to talk to someone else and you need accountability to show up and do your invites, post in the Business Builders group and say like, I'm doing 10 invites today. Who wants to do this with me? I'm going to post screenshots and chop off their names for privacy. I'm big on that too, because a lot of people tell you like crazy things and you don't want to show their names. And like ask for what you need. So if you're like, I need a training on this, I need someone to talk to me about this, I need this, we are in this together. This is the thing you might not know it all. In fact, you never will. There's so much that I don't know, but I'm never alone, ever figuring this out. Because this entire community, even if you've been here for one day, these people have your back. It's crazy how much these people have your back. So lean in, even if you're brand new and you don't know anyone. Hi, I live in Connecticut. Does anyone else live in Connecticut? Can you connect me to another Connecticut coach? I love flying kites. Does anyone want to talk about this with me? I mean, I don't know. I'm just naming random stuff. Point is, lean in, know what you need. Let's do the damn thing, you guys. Your lives and the lives of others and the ripple effect that you can make. Oh my God. It's crazy what you showing up for you and being consistent and being willing to figure it out along the way and push yourself just a tiny bit to go outside of your comfort zone and grow and fail and grow and fail and grow and fail and grow through everything that you go through in this business. You will change so many lives and you will drastically change yours. Okay? I love you guys. I'm always here to support you. I will see you guys in the team page, and I will get this recording posted for all the girls that couldn't make it on live. I love you guys. Mwah. Have a wonderful night.